All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Hope you're having a great day. Today we're going to talk about Rose Bly. In the Summer Wells case, Rose Bly has come up several times. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And before I get started, I want to say thank you to all my subscribers. I'm at 24,108. Maybe I'll hit 25 by the end of next year. So channel's growing. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate all the subscribers. Um, So, I want to talk about Rose Bly because I've not really talked about Rose Bly, and I kind of want to do my own little research on it and see what I can find out, and get you guys that know a little bit about it too to help me out. Okay, um, so the first question I had is: did Dawn and Candus or Grandus did they have an alibi the day that Rose disappeared? Did they have a good alibi that put them um, where they wouldn't be around, the area that Rose was that day? You know what I mean? In person, like on video or an eyewitness or something like that. That's the first thing I want to do. I want to be like, okay. Because I know Candace talked about being in between states when Rose went missing. So, but there again, I couldn't find anything to back that statement up with. You know what I mean? So, did Candace have an alibi on the day Rose went missing or the night Rose went missing? Did Dawn have an alibi? You know, did Grandis have an alibi? And again, I'm talking about, someone seeing them in person on video or just anything that somebody could say, yes, but I've not heard of anything. I've not seen anything. So if y'all could help me out with that, that'd be great because I'm looking into the Rose Bly thing and, cause I'm still getting emails. I'm still getting a lot of emails about Rose Bly. And I thought, okay, I'll finally look into it and see if I can find any connection between Candace, Grandis, Dawn, and Rose. You know what I mean? And I'll be honest with you. Out of everything I looked at, I can't. Okay. Now let me tell you what I did find. Um, the news, the press conference. I found a press conference that the police done, and they played a video, which to me was like how am I going to put this? Just a big sob story video for Grandis. You know what I mean? Um, is what that seemed like to me. It really wasn't. It's just a sob story video is what that was. Uh, and it had Grandis in it, making a few statements. But what caught my attention in that press conference is um, there's no transparency, right? The police wouldn't say if they've interviewed anybody. The police said they did find evidence in the car. They wouldn't say what evidence it was. And the I don't know if it was a chief or I'll just say chief. He's like the head guy, over police down there. Anyway, he seemed like he really wasn't too concerned about Rose's investigation. To me, you know, during that press conference, uh, he seemed like he wasn't too interested in finding Rose. You know what I mean? Didn't seem like there was no transparency. Kind of like he just didn't want to fool with it. Like he was being forced to do the press conference. Like we got better things to do. And I thought that was weird. So I thought, okay, let's do some digging here and try to find out what's going on. So as I got to doing some digging, looks like Rose's ex-husband, Chris Larson, I guess maybe him, Chris, let's see, it was Rose, supposedly Chris and Chris's dad. Supposedly they had supper or something like that. And I guess Rose said that after supper she was going to drive to meet her cousin at a bar for drinks, right? But her cousin says she didn't know nothing about that. Okay. Now, here's something that I find strange. There's no interviews with Chris. I couldn't find any interviews with Chris, Rose's ex-husband. Um, they said Rose was going to go have drinks with her cousin at a bar, right? How did they know that? Who told them that Rose was going to go have drinks with her cousin at the bar? Because her cousin had no knowledge of it. Was Chris the one who told cops that? Was Chris's dad the one who told cops that? Who told cops? How did the cops find out that Rose was going to go have drinks with her cousin at a bar? That's what I want to know. How did the police find that information out? Where did they get that information? You know, what was on Rose's phone? Did Rose? I believe she had a phone. What was on her phone? Did police ever find her phone? I don't know. I didn't. I didn't hear anything about Rose's phone. If y'all um, know, let me know if you did. Did police find Rose's phone? I know they found her car. I believe her car keys wasn't in it. They did find evidence in the car, but they won't say. They're not very transparent in the investigation, and it left me with a lot of questions. Right. So here I am doing my digging, and I believe I know now why police don't want to fool with it. And it's just my opinion. This is why I believe police do not want to fool with it. I come to find out when I was looking into everything, apparently Rose has a temper. Okay. Um, Rose apparently got arrested for a DV incident against Chris, her ex-husband. You know, she seemed like a troubled person, um, and allegedly kicking and becoming violent. With her now ex-husband Chris, and eventually getting arrested for it. Okay. Um, so it sounds like Chris and her had a rocky relationship. Um, you know, a lot of times when you see stuff like this going on, um, it doesn't fare too well for you know the other person in the DV case. When someone goes missing, um, police. Chris is still out there. Police haven't arrested him, right? Police haven't arrested him. Police have no suspects, I guess. It's just, everything's up in the air. It's like the police don't even know where to look or who to look at. And to me, it just sounds like police are not going to take Rose's disappearance seriously because of Rose's, issues. You know, sounds to me like they're probably going to say, well, she probably just, you know, because her car was found at a truck stop or something like that. Um, wouldn't surprise me if they say, oh well, she probably ran off with a trucker, or just decided to disappear and start a new life or whatever. Um, but I mean, what would lead up to that? You know what I mean? So again, I don't think police are going to take Rose's disappearance too seriously just because Rose had a history of issues, and I'll just leave it at that. I'll leave that part at that. But back to Candus, Grandus, and Dawn. Again, doing all this research, uh, nothing was brought up about Candus by the police. Nothing was brought up about Grandus by the police. Nothing was brought up about Dawn by the police. Uh, during, during all the research I found, because what you want to do is be like, okay, does anybody have any beef with Rose that might want to do harm to her, right? And again, that led me back to Chris because they had a rocky relationship. But again, cops aren't saying anything bad about Chris, right? Um, and when in fact, when you look at that between Chris and Rose, Rose was the one that got arrested for DV against Chris. So it's like you know, so who else would want to cause harm to Rose? You know what I mean? So I mean, so now what was there anything going on between Rose and Candus, right? So we know there's something going on between Chris and Rose, but is there something going on between Chris's dad and Rose? Were they fighting, arguing, anything like that? Didn't hear anything about that. Um, Now I have heard rumors, uh, but again, nothing factual's been brought out of it. But there were rumors that Rose was going to call CPS on Candus, right? So there was a little rift there between Rose and Candus and CPS. Don't know if that's true or not. So if anybody out there knows anything about that, would love to hear it. Would love to hear it. I heard nothing. Had heard nothing about anything between Dawn and Rose. Now I don't even know. I mean, I've not even heard if they even met, even talked to each other like on a phone or anything like, you know, um, other than maybe Candace speaking about Rose. Never even heard a peep. Uh, no pun intended, Dawn. A peep. Um, I I don't even know if it seems to me like Dawn just vaguely knew who Rose was, according to the information I found out. But then again, Grandus, and I couldn't find anything else about Grandus. Um, you know, I couldn't find out if Grandus and Rose were arguing. Couldn't find out if Grandus was pissed off at Rose. If there was some, if they had a rocky relationship. Nothing. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be like, okay, so who would want to bring harm to Rose? And started looking at what everybody was emailing me, and because they kept saying Candace, Dawn, and Grandis. But to be honest with you guys, I can't find any. I can't find anything where Candace, Dawn, or Grandis would want to cause harm to Rose. You know, I can't. So if you guys could help me out, that'd be great. Um, right now, to me, and this is what's interesting to me. Police, they kept asking about foul play to the police. And I think it's the chief that said, well, we're just going to consider it a missing persons case right now, a missing persons case. Kind of, he kind of avoided the foul play issue altogether, kind of like missing persons. So I'm like, okay, so did her ex husband not want any harm to come to her? I mean, and in all factuality, it was Rose that caused her ex husband harm. She kicked him, and from what I heard, there's that whole you know domestic issue between her and Chris, and she got arrested for it. So I can see Chris going missing, but the person that went to jail over the domestic went missing. So, but again, they said Rose was the aggressor in the issue between you know her and Chris. Now, is there something there that we've not heard about that could implicate Chris and maybe doing something to her or yada yada? But I'm more interested in trying to find out because everybody keeps talking about Candace, Grandis, and Dawn, not Chris. Candace, Grandis, and Dawn. So I'm looking to see if I can make some kind of connection on, you know, if Candace, Grandis, or Dawn would want to harm Rose. and then go from there. So if you guys know anything about that, let me know. But for right now, um, Candus is saying that she was in between states when Rose went missing. Not heard anything on Dawn, and Grandis ain't heard anything about her. So if you guys would let me know, um, if y'all know anything, it'd be great to hear it. Be great to hear it. So again, drop some comments below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you know, if you know anything. This is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. And I will try. I believe there's gonna be a lot of comments on this one. Again, you can email me if you want to. My email is, donbtruecrime@gmail.com. You can email me if you want to, and we'll discuss it. So, uh, something new to look into. Like I said, I hadn't really looked into Rose's situation, and a lot of people was saying, what's the odds of Rose going missing and Summer going missing? And that it is strange. It is strange. But as I look into Rose's case, I don't see any. I can't come up with anything that leads me to Dawn, Candus, or Grandus. I don't. So that's where I need you guys to help me out. If y'all can provide me something that leads me to why Dawn, Candus, or Grandus would want to harm Rose, I'll look into that. So anyway, guys, hope you like this video, and I'll see you. I'm gonna do two today. I'll be back on there this evening, so I'll see you then.